Good morning, everybody, and this is your S&P 500 day trade setup for today. So yesterday we had a continuation of the previous day, a pretty big green bar there and pretty bullish. So opened on its low and closed on its high. So it is bigger than the previous bar, and that's always a risk. It is some sort of an exhaustion bar, but that is to be expected because we are pushing for these previous highs. So I think a couple of things have transpired. So the first one obviously is this triangle has broken. Okay, we haven't tested it, and often it comes back to the apex of the triangle. So if we just put that level in roughly where the apex is going to be, it's not an exact science, but you can see it lines up with all these tails here. Okay, so I can actually put 2 in there. So there's a bit of a zone here, which would be a fairly decent pullback. Okay, but anyway, let's just keep those 2 in. This level here, you can see I've taken the top of this 3-hour bar here at 3659, and you can see we pretty much bounced right off it, which would be the first target area for any breakout longs. Okay, so the next step is really to wait for the pullback. Now, we got a bit of a wedge forming here as well, so let's get down to the hour, and now you'll see it'll be a little bit clearer. So there we have the upper end of the wedge, and there we have the lower end of the wedge. Okay, it's not to say that it's going to fall to the floor, don't get me wrong, but it just does give an indication that we are a little bit tired, and what you should be doing is looking for pullbacks. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of all the diagonals. We don't need them right now because there's more than enough structure here for us to wait for pullbacks. And it's going to get messy, but you can see what I'm doing. And there you go. So each fractal is a level. That's an inside tail. Price has gone past those areas, as you can see. So in other words, it's broken up. So in other words, again, more words, but it's a breakout. So it's a breakout of that level, 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 and it's a breakout of that level. So those are your levels where you would expect pullbacks to. So if we follow on the wedge, the most likely one is this bottom one here, which is 3637, and I just want to look at the 8-hour to see if any of them line up. Yeah, so that one does line up there. So 3642 on the 8-hour, and if you look at the 3-hour, you'll see a similar picture. Basically, you can see all these tails. So that is a breakout. So we've broken up, but you'd expect a retest of that breakout. Okay. So here we go. On the hour, this is the first level to watch, which is 3642. Then we've got 3637. Okay, then ultimately we have 3628 and 3623. So those are the areas where I would be watching for a pullback. Now, one thing to bear in mind is if you're looking at this on the 15, you'll see a little bit of a different picture on the 15. Okay, so trend is up. You can see a pretty solid trend is up. And there's no reason to be looking for shorts, so you're looking for structure. So the most logical area is right here, 3642. So that's the one that you'd first watch, possibly a little bit of a squirt down to this level of 3637. But we've also got this little micro level in as well, which would stay with the moving average. Okay. Short week. This is the last week of last day of trading for the US markets at the moment, with Thanksgiving coming up. So you need to be pretty much on your toes here. Question is, are the traders going to be selling off, taking profit before the long weekend, or are they going to be looking for opportunities to buy in, anticipating a move higher next week? Okay, so the political noise has been sorted out. That's under control. We haven't seen anything more on the virus, but we're still going on the sentiment of the vaccines that were released through the last 2 weeks. Okay, so for me, I'm looking to buy, and you can see there's quite a few levels that I'm watching. Even this little 15-minute level here of 3646 is a fairly decent area. And you've got to look at the higher time frames here as well. And target base, well, for me, there is a measured move here. Okay, which is just underneath, well, basically the previous high. So that is the first target base. But then we have a much bigger one here. And this one, I mean, pointless focusing on that one for now, because that takes us well up into 4,000. Okay, so yeah, for me today, it's buy the dips, buy the pullbacks, and more than likely just pop down to the 15 minutes and wait with the 15-minute chart and see what transpires. You've got some pretty good structure here, and all the way down. So yeah, I'd even be interested in sort of taking small nibbles here and waiting for a deeper pullback. But whether we get a deep pullback or not, that's another question. But for me, this is happening, and as we're watching, we are getting a little bit of a wedge break. So yeah, pull back into one of these three areas. Okay, 3646, 3642, and 3637. That's kind of what we're looking for. I'll be waiting for European Open as well, because the DAX hasn't quite broken through its level yet, but it could very well happen today. If that does happen, then this is just going to be carried higher with the European markets. Okay, anyway, that's it for me. Hope it helps, and we'll catch you later. Cheers for now.